Hello and welcome to this new analysis on the Tactical Square. We are going to talk about the final of the Champions League between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. We know that there are still unpredictabilities in the both lineups because Verratti played only 10 minutes. Benjamin Pavard also played only some minutes of the match, so we don't know if it's going to be Kimmich in the midfield or for Paris Saint-Germain, Verratti in the midfield instead of Ander Herrera, or if Verratti is not ready, maybe the option of Di Maria in the midfield instead of Ander Herrera and Verratti, and putting Sarabia on the wings. We're going to talk about all this here on the table, on this tactical table. We're going to see both teams, how they're going to set. We know that Bayern Munich are playing with a high line. It's PSG who is going to defend. So my analysis will be how PSG should press Bayern Munich and how they should cause them problems. We know from what I saw in the match of Lyon, Barcelona also, Bayern Munich play with a high line, high fullbacks, very high fullbacks. Goretzka very far from Thiago Silva, who is here. Goretzka is very far. Muller is very far. So they try to create as soon as possible players behind the line of the midfield, and they let it only to Thiago Alcantara and Goretzka, who can come and play this role of 50-50, being behind the lines, then coming to in front of the line of the midfield, trying to help a little bit Thiago. But what we saw from the match of Lyon is that even though they tried with Thiago, sometimes Thiago was not necessary in his position here. Maybe he was attracting a player, but not necessarily. He was not always playing the ball. Who was solving the problems is Alaba. Alaba have the ability to go here. Boateng as well have the ability of being here in the midfield, of going. We don't know still. Maybe Swell will play. So these defenders of PSG have to be very, very, very attentive in reducing the spaces. Why? Because first they have Thiago, and they have here players that can step in the midfield and then create early 2v1s behind the line of the midfield, and of course always the runs behind the fullbacks of the opposition of Muller, who come to strengthen always the side of the ball. Even though he playing, for example, even though the instruction is to start from the left side, but the instructions also is while the ball is progressing, come and reinforce the strong side, the active area of the play. So he will come to this right side and he will make those runs. How PSG can avoid these problems? For myself, I think that PSG should, first of all, we should know who is going to play. For me, it's going to be Thiago Silva, Kimpembe, on the left side Bernat, Kerrer, Marquinhos, very important in the midfield. And here from these two, we have still doubts, but we know that Paredes will play. And here on this position, I don't think that Ander Herrera will be a good option. Why? Because as I said in my previous analysis, it's on my channel, he still misses his references in transitions. When PSG recover the ball, he don't accelerate the game. You have to have always as a midfielder a reference up in the opposition side, whether it's Di Maria, Neymar, or Mbappe. And it's very important. We know that against a high line, when you recover the ball, play, and the runs must be. We saw against Lyon, for example. Against Lyon, we saw that the runs of Ekambi, the runs of Memphis Depay hurted Lyon. So I expect that when you recover the ball, make those runs from Di Maria, Neymar, and Mbappe, and of course then the block. It will depend on the runs of the block when they will arrive here in the box to finish. And I think that in PSG there is more quality than in Lyon, and there is more experience, and they can hurt Bayern Munich like this. But what setup should PSG do against Bayern Munich in the pressing? What I expect from PSG is like we saw against Leipzig. Neymar presses, he used to press with the goalkeeper, and at the same time shadow press the midfield. So there is no opportunity. Here we know that Neuer likes to play the ball, but the line will be very high, so PSG will go back a little bit. So Neuer will not be a first option of the play. So maybe they will try to attract PSG like this. It's an option, it's possible. But first, I think that it's very important to neutralize Thiago Alcantara. Who is going to be responsible for Thiago Alcantara? Neymar. For me, Neymar or or Mbappe here, but maybe Neymar can have more freshness. And here it's very important, the two wingers must press from far the center backs, but not give them so much space, because as I said, they can resolve the problems and they can step in the midfield. So let a reasonable distance where you can intervene and cut the option of the fullbacks, but at the same time, don't forget, take a reasonable also distance between the fullbacks. We saw that this is the setup. We saw it in Klopp. We saw it with Arteta. I think it's a good setup, because you at the same time you press the center back, you press the fullback, and then I think that Di Maria or Verratti should play here, and Sarabia or Di Maria if Verratti is ready to cut the options. I think as well that the midfield should always look here aggressive, to be here, and then try, if the ball is to make the trap. If the ball is played to Goretzka, immediate pressing on him, immediate pressing from here, and then you have to make those runs. You have to make yourself available. You have to cut in their back. And this is, I think, the setup of this pressing. I think that it could be, if PSG can make early pressing traps on midfielders like this, make the spaces really not easy. Try to, if not have the ball, make their build up slow, so we can go on the wings all together, all compact. I think it's going to be efficient if it's played that way. I expect PSG to bring back a little bit Goretzka, to make the space really tight for him. We didn't see him tested that way before in the Champions League, so I expect him to have more difficulties in bringing out the ball. I expect Bayern Munich maybe in front of this pressing to play long balls, and to play long balls you have to pay attention. You don't have to go for the fullbacks, they must stay also, and the block must do the efforts. So at the end, PSG is gonna suffer, but this is the way. I think it's the only way to stop Bayern Munich and to be efficient. It was with you, Amin Amor from the Tactical Square. I hope that you like this preview, and I wish you to enjoy the match.